Hi friend. Well, today in this video, I want to share with you a technique that you can use when those negative thoughts, those looping ruminations come into your mind. And, we just think negative things and it's hard to stop them. And so here's a technique that I want to share with you. And I actually used it this morning on a coaching call. And I use this with a lot of my coaching clients because it really is a good way to change how we view things in the world or how we view ourselves and our behaviors. And so what I call this technique is flipping the coin. A coin has two sides. And when something happens and we start feeling bad about it, we start putting ourselves down, or, someone does something to us and we're angry or we're frustrated, and we start having these thoughts just loop over and over and over in our minds. Now, have you ever done that? I know I do that a lot. I'm able to stop it now better than I used to, but I still catch myself doing it. And so the concept or this idea of flipping the coin is to recognize that there are different ways to see things. So again, two sides to a coin. And oftentimes when we're in these negative loops, we only see things from one perspective. And the reality is, when we have these looping thoughts in our head, that negative inner critic, we are solidifying a way that we view ourselves. And I believe we are actually solidifying an identity. Now, we may not always think about that, oh, I'm creating an identity for myself. But really, that is what's happening. We can tell ourselves, oh, I'm so dumb because I didn't do something this way, or I'm so lazy, or, I'm never going to lose the weight, or I should do this. When we start talking in these black and white or extreme terms like never and always or should, that's a clue to us that we really need to pause and think about what we're saying. What are we telling ourselves? Because the reality is we can look at the other side of that coin, of the story coin, if you think about that, the story coin that we're telling ourselves. So what is that story we are telling ourselves? And how can we flip that around and look at it differently? Because when we are able to talk to ourselves differently, when we're able to change that story, then we change our sense of self. We change that identity. We can reverse those negative looping thoughts. So how I talked with my client about this morning is she was feeling bad because she was procrastinating and she wasn't doing what she felt like she should do. And she would often be, laying in bed or laying on the couch with her animals, being cozy with them. And so she was feeling bad about herself, feeling like she was lazy, like she couldn't get anything done. And then we just go down this dark hole of, oh, I'm not a good person. I can't get anything done. I'm always like this. Again, looking at those extreme black and white words that we say to ourselves. And so what I said to her, using this technique of flipping the coin, I said, well, you know what? When you are with your animals and you're loving your animals, that's creating oxytocin in your system. And that's our feel-good hormone. And also, it creates oxytocin in the animals too. And so they are healthier. So actually what we're doing when we snuggle our animals is that we are creating this feel-good hormone, which helps to make us healthier, and we're helping our animals be healthier too. So I said to this person, I said, what if you looked at it like that? What if you stopped beating yourself up for snuggling with your animals and just said, there is something good about this? What would happen if you just gave yourself a break and enjoyed that? So I was trying to help my client realize that this behavior wasn't all bad, that there were good things about loving and snuggling with her animals. There were good things that happened within her body when she did that. And what if she just accepted that and said, this is okay that I'm doing that? How would that help her? And how might that even change her behavior and her procrastination that she was trying to get out of? So that's one way that we can flip the coin. Another way that I'll share is an example with myself. So this year I am really trying to work on health, getting healthier. You know, I'm 65 years old. My body has taken care of me for many, many years. And it is time that I really start paying attention and taking care of my body. So I'm trying to eat healthier. Now, many days I don't eat as healthy as I could, or I have one thing that is not a healthy option for me. So I can spend my whole day beating myself up and saying, oh, I'm never going to be a healthy person. I'm never going to achieve my health goals. Again, never is a black and white word, so watch it when you're saying those. But what I don't look at, what the other side of the coin is I ate a salad that day. I had a good breakfast. I had some eggs for breakfast. And so it's so easy for us to focus on the things that we aren't doing or the things that feel like it's the wrong thing to do, behaviors that we want to change, and just beat ourselves up over those things. But the reality is we can flip that coin and we can look at a different side of that situation. And I think almost in every situation, there is another side of the coin. Take something really extreme. Maybe you made a huge mistake that cost you your job. That's a pretty big thing. What can you learn from that? Now, what we will often do is we'll just feel like a failure and we'll ruminate about all the things we did wrong. We'll ruminate about things we said and things we did, and we loop that negative stuff in our minds over and over again. And that takes a lot of energy. But what we could do is think about those things and recognize those are lessons that we can change. So even in really extreme cases, we can flip the coin and look at that situation in a different way. And when we do that, that starts to build new pathways in our brain. Because all of this negative self-talk, this inner critic, that has created certain pathways in our brain that cause us to feel bad about ourselves, that cause us to feel like we're a failure. But when we change that around, we can start building those new pathways in our brain. And of course, it isn't going to happen the first time we do that, but over and over and over again, with practice, when we make a choice to see a situation in a different way, when we tell ourselves a different story, that is going to build our mental health, make us feel better, and help us to be a healthier and happier person. And that, it will carry on into other situations. So when we do this over and over and over again, it will be easier to start doing it in other situations that we have. And that is so much better for our mental health. And it's so much better for the energy that we give to a problem or to a situation. We put a lot of energy into this negative self-talk and listening to it and believing it and ruminating over it. But you know what? We can make a choice to put that energy into something different. We can make a choice to flip that coin, to look at the other side of that story and put our energy into that. Okay, that's all I have to say for today. I hope this is helpful. If you have been able to flip the coin or look at a story differently, please share that in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And also, please like and subscribe to our channel. It just helps this information get out to more people. All right, hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.